comprehensively analyse how interacting natural processes have shaped a named geographic environment. So basically what that means is how do our interacting processes form the sand dunes or the sandy beach in the Muriwai coastal environment. So when you're writing this or when you are doing this question, I want you to think about how the processes interact to produce specific features. What is the role of each process and how important is it in the formation of the sand dunes? For example, if we removed longshore drift, would there be sediment supplied to form our sand dunes? I also want you to think about how each process affects the other process and how they interact and to create the sand dunes. We looked at that yesterday with this diagram. I wanted you to start thinking about how the wind and waves interact and how the waves and the sediment interact in the simple form of them as just processes. Today, we're going to take that information and we're going to apply it to an actual question that has come from NCEA. And this is potentially a question that could come up again, who knows? So you are going to write this essay using our SEED format, which is statement, explain or elaborate, give the example, and refer to the diagram. So in this case, that is going to be your map of the coastal environment. I've done the planning for you. So paragraph 1 is the introduction. What are the main higher order processes that produce the sand dunes? So here it is the location and the interacting processes. So you need to restate the question. So where is the Muriwai coastal environment? Restate the question. State the higher order processes that contribute to the creation of sand dunes, and state where the sand dunes are located. Remember, they're on Muriwai Beach, they don't form at Māori Bay. Paragraph 2 is interaction of climate and hydrological processes. So this is the wind creating the waves. So the fetch, the prevailing winds, what are the statistics, the wind direction, the energy of the winds, the direction of the waves, and so on. Hopefully that information you have here. In this planning box, what I would like you to do is I would like you to add in more specific information. From being an external exam marker, those students that plan their exams, their essays, do much better in the exams. Paragraph 3 is interaction of the waves and the sediments, the hydrological and the pedological processes. So where does our sediment come from? How does it get in from the currents into tidal zone? What's longshore drift, swash, backwash, etc.? And what does that have to do with the formation of sand dunes? Paragraph 4 is the interaction of the wind and the sediment. So in paragraph 3, you've talked about how the sediment, the tithomagnetite sand, has been deposited into that intertidal zone. All right. So now in paragraph 4, what happens to that sediment once it's in that intertidal zone? So how does it move from the intertidal zone up into the sand dunes? So here we're going to talk about our climate processes, the wind drying up the sediment becoming friable. Remember, friable means that it can move. The wind speed and direction, so that fluid threshold velocity. The aeolian processes, saltation, surface creep, and suspension. Need to put that in there. And then also here, it's probably quite useful for you to have a diagram showing the aeolian processes. Paragraph 5 is the interaction of the vegetation and the climate. The climate. So that is that zone of zero velocity, that pingao, spinifex, and marram grass stopping and building the sand dune, stopping the sediment to build the sand dunes. And here, talk about the height of the sand dunes. So where are the sand dunes taller and where are they not so big? Conclusion, tie it all up. So this is where you're going to restate your question, talk that the processes interact to create the sand dunes. You're going to write your essay here. So This is not new information to you, but it's now applying that information that you have had. We're going to be going over this today in class, and for those of you that are at home, please just email or private message. Cool. Good luck.